Hey guys, what's up? It's Josh Mall, the voice for Swimming Pool Science, and today we're going to be replacing the drive on a Hayward EcoStar pump and going through the programming so that you guys know how to tackle this stuff on your own. Now we've done this, we've gone through the variable speed pumps for the Pentair IntelliFlow models, but this is the first time we're tooling around with a Hayward variable speed pump. So let's go check it out, guys. Make sure to shut off the power before doing any work to this pump. Remove the forward panel screw to allow access to the electrical connections to the pump. First generation pump drives had components that were susceptible to heat damage. This was largely remedied in 2013 with the revision 1.1 pump drives. Carefully remove the red, white, and black wires that connect the pump drive to the pump motor itself. Next, use a Phillips screwdriver and a 1/4-inch nut driver to disconnect the power wires and the ground wire. Keep in mind this drive can hold a charge after it's disconnected, so be careful. A set of needle nose pliers can come in handy for moving wires and straightening wires out of the way. If you're only here for the programming, fast forward to 4 minutes and 15 seconds. Your pump's bonded, isn't it? Yeah, of course it is. Make sure you disconnect this as well, and don't forget to reconnect it to the new drive. This is the part where those high temp unions on the pump come in handy. Disconnect those, and now you're free to turn the pump on its side in order to access the 1/4-inch screws that hold the drive to the pump itself. Remove these 4 screws, and now the drive should be free and loose. You're not done yet though. You've got to free it from the wires. As you lift the drive away from the pump, keep in mind you'll only be able to fit about 1 wire through at a time, so carefully feed each of these through without ripping off the connectors. This is a great time to clean out any dust that's collected between the drive and the pump that could retain any excessive heat. At this point, we're ready to slide the new drive back on the motor. Carefully feed those wires back through, and keep in mind all 3 cannot fit through at the same time, so take it easy with this one. Carefully underlap the drive underneath the bolts and set it into place. Now comes the fun part. It took me 5 or 6 minutes to get all 4 of the holes lined up for the 1/4-inch bolts that mount the pump to the drive. So take your time with this one and be patient. It's a little bit tricky. Once the drive is securely fastened, it's time to start reconnecting wires. Do this before you refasten the high temp unions back to the pump. That way you can move this thing around and manipulate it as you need to. Make sure you're connecting those wires in the right order. It goes black, blue, and red going from left to right. Also make sure they're securely fastened. A loose wire means the pump will not communicate with the drive. The same goes for our power wires and ground. The wires have to be firmly connected, or excessive heat could build up and cause damage and melting in the drive board itself. Securely fasten the flex conduit, make sure the pump is bonded again, and then you're ready to reattach at the unions. Refasten the forward access panel, and then you're ready to prime this thing up and start programming. The first thing we'll need to do is push the stop resume button to shut off the red light. When the red light's off, that means the pump is on and ready to be programmed and run. To access the configuration menu, hold the right and left arrows down for 5 seconds. The right arrow takes you into a menu function, plus saves and lets you change things as well as increase values. Minus disregards changes and lowers values. Set the day using the up and down arrows and lock it in with the right arrow as well as move on to the next value. Set your time the same way and use the right arrow to move on. Your next menu item, speed selection, changes speed units from RPM to a percentage of the max. I prefer to keep it on RPM. In many cases, it won't be necessary to run the pump at full power. Here you can adjust the maximum allowed speed to set the pump so it doesn't overstress the pool equipment. You can also adjust the minimum speed upward from 600 RPM if you have a system that requires higher RPMs than this at low speed. Prime duration allows you to set the amount of time the pump will run at full speed in an attempt to prime, before it shuts down and alarms out. The default is 8 minutes, but I find that 3 minutes works great. If your pump is being controlled by a non-Hayward automation system, it needs to be set into relay mode. If not, just leave it in standalone. If you have multiple pumps tied to automation, each must have a different COM bus address so automation can tell them apart. If it's just standalone, don't even mess with this. Low temp operation sets the pump to turn on when the drive temperature gets too low. Sensitive electronics can be damaged from cold. This is a problem with several brands of variable speed pumps and should always be enabled. Once you've reached the end of the configuration menu, either push plus to save or minus to not save and start all over again. Now let's set some programs in the timers menu. Here's where we set our speeds and durations. Use the right arrow to move through and plus to modify each speed. You can also change the name of each speed if you want to. What's that? Out of habit, I use speeds 5 through 8 for scheduled speeds. First set the speed, then use the right arrow to set the start and end times. Okay, so we'll adjust that. For pools with inflow or cleaning systems and pressure side cleanings, I like to set the low speed program to run immediately after the high speed program. That way any residual dust or debris in the water will get collected during the low speed run. And high speed I'll run from midnight to 3 a.m. And that way that's in the low speed. We'll actually program in two low speeds here. I'll run that from 6 a.m. You said from 3 to 6? Yeah. Okay. One cool feature on the Hayward pumps is that you can set the speeds to run on specific days. This is a great feature if your pool sees more traffic on specific days. Okay. 7 days a week. That's done. Timer 7. To remove or delete a program, just set the start time and stop time to the exact same time and they'll zero out. To lock in and save all the programming we just did, right arrow to the end of the menu and press the plus to save or minus to disregard and start over. The speed menu allows you to program buttons 1 through 4 to run a specific speed for a specific duration. For example, if you program speed 1 to run for 1 hour at 1000 RPMs, you can go back, press that speed 1 button, it will run for 1 hour at 1000 RPMs, and then it will default back to its normal programming for whatever it's supposed to be doing at that time of the day. Quick Clean is preset for 1 hour at max RPM. It cannot be changed or reprogrammed. Once again, a red light next to the stop resume button means that the pump is off. Push the button and the pump will be on. It works just like the power button on your television. Finally, we have the diagnostic menu, which I didn't film. That's going to show you the pump serial number, the firmware revisions for the drive and display boards, also the pump model or product version, if the voltage is within range, motor input current in amps, and finally, power usage in watts. All right, guys, there you have it. That is the way you would program a Hayward EcoStar pump or the TriStar 9050 or any of the TriStar series variable speeds pump. I hope this was helpful. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this video. And I want to know, how is your Hayward pump treating you? Are you happy with it? Have you had any issues? Let me know in the comments down below.